Before I begin, I must acknowledge that I would not be standing here if not for so many people. At the top of that list being my family, my closest friends, and the teachers and administrators who have advocated for me over the course of my years in the Pennsbury School District. Above all, though, I must thank God. It is my honor to speak to you today on behalf of the Pennsbury High School graduating class of 2020. As your student body president, not to mention as one of the few, if not the first, Black student body president in Pennsbury High School's 72-year history. We wear the mask. I am not talking about the annoying mask we have all been forced to wear due to the global pandemic that is sweeping across our nation and the world, leaving behind a path of devastation that we will be tasked to rebuild in the coming weeks, months, and possibly years. The mask I speak of is far worse than the one you see on my face right now. In 1892, an African-American poet by the name of Paul Laurence Dunbar wrote a poem about the mask we wear. 128 years after it was written, we still wear the mask. The mask that we wear and the mask that the poem is referring to is the same mask that has been suffocating this country for centuries. The mask we wear took George Floyd's last breath, crying out, "I can't breathe," for so many of us to realize that there was something there covering the face of America. The masks we wear are hard to see and even harder to acknowledge. As wearers of these masks, we are often blind or numb to the mask worn around us and by us. Not because we are vision impaired, but because we do not want to look. No one wants to feel that discomfort, an uneasiness similar to how I am feeling right now. After all, a mask is not only a disguise, but a shield as well. We wear the mask because we want to hide the blemishes that riddle our skin and the ugliness of our reality. We wear the mask to protect ourselves from the viruses that run rampant in our world. We all wear masks. The mask you wear may be different than mine or the person you are sitting 6 feet apart from, but it is a mask nonetheless. For 17 years, I wore a particular mask. A mask that showed the world, my family, and myself what we wanted to see, but not what was true. After wearing this mask for so long, trying to convince everyone else on top of myself that I was not gay, it became so suffocating, I could no longer breathe with it on. So I took it off. Once finally free of that mask, I realized what I confused to be ugly and imperfect about me was something great. We wear the mask, but at what expense? As human beings, as high schoolers, and now graduates, we are too often afraid to be vulnerable, to be ourselves, to be different. So we wear the mask. But again, I ask, at what expense? For the things we fear the most, are often the greatest. I was prepared to come up here wearing yet another mask and deliver my rendition of the hundreds of greatest graduation speeches ever. I spent hours watching on YouTube to talk to you about how awesome these past 4 years have been and how we are at a turning point in history and need to step up as the leaders of a tomorrow that is now today. This is true, but that is not my message. For greatness is not doing what has already been done, it is doing what has never been done before. It is not measured by net worth, fame, title, or following, but impact. To be great, you do not have to be an Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, or Charissa Gibson. The greatest people can be your elementary school art teacher, the goofy kid with a messed up hairline you end up walking next to on the path, or even your mom and dad. You do not need to be somebody else to be great. For many of the greatest people I will ever know are amongst you. Right now I stand here, maskless, vulnerable to the viruses of the world, but unafraid, for I can breathe. As we part ways to go on to college, service, the workforce, or the crib, I encourage you to look in the mirror and think about the different masks you may wear. Beneath those masks, there is something the world is missing. It is long overdue that we no longer wear the mask Paul Laurence Dunbar wrote about 128 years ago, and instead we abide by the words of the wise philosopher and street poet known as Future, and take our mask off. Now you will be hearing from Noah Erdogan.